All right, hello everybody. Welcome to the live stream today. Hope you guys are having a great day. Today we're going to be doing an unboxing and a quick review on this product here. Now, how I came about buying this product is I wanted to buy what's called the Leatherman Squirt PS4. I don't know what the PS4 is for, but the Leatherman Squirt is essentially a little tiny Leatherman, a little pair of pliers, and then a bunch of other little tools. Well, when I went to actually look for that one, it turns out they don't make that anymore, which I found really weird because I found so many people asking, where can I buy one of these? Where's the best place to get one of these? And they don't make it anymore, but at least the good news is you also found a lot of articles about what's the best alternative, right? And this is what I found is the best, the closest alternative. There are other small multi-tools, make no mistake, but this one they said was the most like the Leatherman Squirt PS4. They have one called the Leatherman Micra, which is the exact same dimensions as the Squirt, but that, instead of featuring a pair of pliers, features a pair of scissors. So if you're looking to do mainly cutting, I would look at the Leatherman Micra, or they also have a version of this one that comes in a scissored format, and it's like less than half the price, right? So this one here, I always love these names, you know, so you can always tell when they didn't outsource the naming at these companies because the names are weird. The NexTool Mini Sailor. It's called the Mini Sailor. I don't know why, but this is the Mini Sailor. So the weight is going to be about 84 grams, plus or minus 5 grams, which I find terribly weird. Main material is going to be steel, 420J2 and 420J1 steel. Dimensions 67.2 millimeters by 25.3 by 15.5, and that are the closed dimensions of this one. This came in 3 different colors. The one that I purchased was the black. I got this on Amazon. If you're looking for this, there is a link in the description where you can find this product, and then we do get a very, very small affiliate amount as well. But if you're going to buy one, click that link there. It doesn't cost you any money, and it helps make this channel possible. So let's go ahead and open this up here and see exactly what we got. It's available on Amazon Prime, so you get it next day, all that kind of stuff, which is nice. Little box, little user manual, pretty straightforward little manual. It tells all the tools, though. So if we look at all the tools here, we've got number 1, needle nose pliers, number 2, regular pliers, number 3, wire cutters, a knife, a can opener, a bottle opener, a Phillips screwdriver, a hanging hole or a lanyard, as you probably heard them called, scissors, a SIM card needle, and then a flathead screwdriver. So even though this is very small, you're still getting quite a lot of instructions. And it's letting you know, after using the scissors, please follow these steps to recover. Okay, so I guess that's how you put the scissors, recover the scissors. Now this desiccant, do not eat this stuff. It's not just a clever name on the package. Apparently you're not supposed to eat it. Don't ask how I know that. Now here you go. Here is the tool itself. So this very much, I had a the part that bothers me the most is I had a Leatherman Squirt back in the day. Couldn't even tell you what happened to it. I don't remember. But this reminds me of that little tool so much. Very, very small, very handheld. I want to show you next to Brady Bloomer. Hey, good to see you, man. I love me a solid multi-tool. Yeah, they are handy, right? So this is a Leatherman Super Tool. This is my grandpa's old one. I don't even know, like this isn't, maybe it's the same as the current one, but there's a full-size Leatherman with this one here, right? So much smaller. This has a little lanyard. It has a little keychain loop as well. So you can put this on your keychain. Really depends how big your keychain is. If you have one of those big janitor-style keychains, you got a whole bunch of loops, maybe this isn't too big. For me, it'd be a little big, but it's going to be perfect for my EDC sling, which I've got a lot of little gear in there. Ooh, that's some hot coffee. So let's go ahead and open it up here. Take a look at all the tools. So there we go. All right, so you see these pliers, first thing, these are spring-loaded. That makes it way better. If these aren't spring-loaded, they're virtually impossible to use with one hand. You kind of need 2 hands. But I really wanted this tool because I wanted to have a little set of pliers with me. I ran into a situation where I had my card got stuck in a machine. I had to go find someone. It was like a big thing. It's like, oh God, what if I lose my card? And I'm like, you know, if I just had a little tiny set of pliers, this wouldn't happen. So, you know, I make a lot of my purchases on Amazon after 2 or 3 beers on a Friday night kind of thing, you know. This was one of those, but this is one I'm glad I did. So these are your pliers. The regular pliers is going to be like where I got my finger here. Needle nose is going to be up here where my finger is now. Then that's your wire cutters. Very small wire cutters. You are not going to cut a large gauge of wire on that for sure. But I mean, just keep in mind, sometimes people buy little tools like this and they expect that it's going to replace their, you know, snap-on toolkit. It's like, no, this is a little tiny multi-tool and it's designed to be a little tiny multi-tool. So everything is going to be miniaturized, whatever you're used to. Hey, thank you, Beauty by Susanna. Great to see you. So positive. So everything on here is going to serve miniature purposes. If you're going to try to use this to fix up your old 1969 Mustang, you know, you probably want to get something a little bit bigger. But for our purposes, that's going to be just great. I'm loving these pliers. This is like, honestly, like the main reason I bought it, but we want to see all the other tools as well. So let's go ahead and we're going to close the pliers now, because you can access these other tools with the pliers closed. And in fact, you have to do it with the pliers closed. Like, let's see. Can I open these? Yeah, I mean, it's going to... I guess you don't have to, but it is a little awkward when you're pulling that out from this side, right? So for our purposes so far, we're going to try it like this. So let's go back to that first tool here. So this is going to be both our bottle opener as well as a can opener. So if you notice this point here, you notice this almost looks like a bit of a blade. Like you can see how this has different markings on this section than this section here. It's not sharp, but it is pointy, right? So this is a real like emergency can opener kind of thing. It's going to work in a pinch, but it's going to be not even close to as good as a normal can opener, but a great thing to have on a multi-tool. And then of course, the one that people are going to use the most, a bottle opener, right? Bottle opener is always a great tool to have, something you're going to use. They have these little thumb indents to get them out of there, so they're easy to get out. Feels very solid though. Like this doesn't feel the slightest bit cheap or anything like that, which you're just never quite sure when you're buying these, you know, less expensive tools. Is it going to seem less expensive? And I mean, if you didn't tell me this was like a clone kind of thing, I really wouldn't think that. I would imagine this was probably the original, but you know, it's quite a good quality clone so far. So we got a little knife here. You know, these knives, I would recommend sharpening them if you really plan to use them. Keep in mind, this doesn't lock, right? This isn't a locking knife. So if you are stabbing, you know, make sure you're not putting too much pressure. Bang, that closes in, slices your thumb up. It's a small knife. If you plan on carving a statue, I would use something a little bit bigger. But for, you know, opening packages, opening boxes, some light cutting that you want to do, this is going to be a great tool for that. But all you need to do is just take a sharpener to this, and then you can sharpen this, make it in, like it's pretty sharp out of the box here. As I put my finger on it, I mean, that could cut you real good if you wanted. A little bit of a stab too on there if you want. But once you put a proper sharpening on this, you're going to take it from reasonably sharp to super sharp, which isn't a terrible idea. I mean, if you're going to have a knife, you probably want a sharp knife, right? Having a dull knife just isn't nearly as useful. Then you see in the middle... So let's take these two tools out, and what you're going to see, oops, that out there. So you see these in the middle, that looks like more tools. This isn't more tools. This is the apparatus for the wrench, right? For like the spring-loaded aspect of it, that's what that is there. So it's not two other tools. That's going to be for the wrench itself. So let's go ahead and fold these back in here. Now when we look on the other side we have three tools. So you have two of the thumb indents here, and then this one here, that's kind of your indent there, not a thumb indent per se. Then the middle two are going to be used for the wrench. Let's go ahead and grab a drink of this hot coffee. Oh, there we go. Good coffee drinking ASMR for you there. So let's open up this smaller one here. All these, like, I don't have, oh, you see a little machine oil on there. I don't have a problem with that because that means it's been lubed up and ready to go. Now, I keep my nails like very short. I don't know if you can see that. It's like I don't even like to see the white on them kind of thing. And I can get these easy. So even if you keep your nails super unreasonably short like mine, you should probably be fine. So this here, this is your flat head screwdriver. So that's going to be great when you have to turn any small screw. It's going to fit in a number of different slots here, but it is a one size sort of fits. If you have one of those really wide screws, it might not be wide enough for that, but again, then you're just going to pull out your full-on screwdriver, right? Now, when we open up this little one here, we have another screwdriver, but this is going to be a Phillips screwdriver. So a very thin Phillips screwdriver here. You know, this is going to be for like fixing eyeglasses, fixing small parts, that sort of thing. Because you see, it's a Phillips, but it's flat, right? It's flat. just like this other screwdriver on the other side, but it's like a flat Phillips. So that's interesting. I haven't seen one like that before. It's not going to work as good as a normal Phillips, but I bet it's going to work just fine for what it's intended for, which is just kind of your day-to-day use. Now, I lied here. This actually has one more tool I'm going to pull out here. Now, look at this one here. Now, you're going to see this one, and you're going to ask yourself, what in the heck is this, right? Well, I mean, if you follow my other channel, this is probably just a tool that you'll have a million uses for. But if you don't follow my other channel, then this is a SIM ejector tool. So what this is designed for on your iPhone, if you have to eject the SIM, you got something here for that. I would just, keep in mind, I wouldn't use this for anything heavy duty. It's very thin. It has to be very thin to fit in that SIM card slot. So this is not a large tool itself, but it's going to do the job just fine, which is SIM card ejection. Now, I don't think you can, you can't pull out that tool without pulling this one first. So to use the SIM ejector tool, you have to pull out the flathead screwdriver. And then, of course, you can just put the flathead away, and you can close this one on its own, but you just have no way to access this if you don't close that other one first, unless you have the most bizarre fingernails I've ever even concocted kind of thing. Now, we come to our final tool here. I'm going to pull this up, and this is a very handy one. This is a set of scissors. Now, these are spring-loaded. You can see right down here, you can see that spring, and that's what's going to make this actually useful. Because I have seen multi-tools, and they don't have spring-loaded scissors, and they don't have spring-loaded pliers, and they're impossible to use. Imagine using these scissors. If they're not spring-loaded, you have to go, right? You have to use these kind of like two-handed, or else you have to close them, open them. Having them spring-loaded is just perfect there. Take our little piece of paper, right? So that is a nice, useful tool that's going to come in handy all the time. And then it shows us exactly how to close this. It even has a little QR code on there. I'm guessing probably has the instructions. Wow, so that's useful. I can see myself using the scissors. I saw people on videos, they were cutting paracord and stuff like that. They were cutting some stuff that was a decent thickness and a decent gauge. So, but if you're going to make these your daily driver, you probably want a dedicated pair of scissors. These kind of tools are made for the occasional use of things. You know what I mean? I want to show you some differences between what you're expecting with a full-size multi-tool and then something smaller like this. So again, this is the NexTool Mini Sailor. If you're looking for this one, there is a link in the video description. This was about, I think it was 32 Canadian dollars, so not expensive at all. When I was looking to buy one of the Leatherman Squirts, they still sell brand new ones on eBay. They're like $200, right? Like, so it is not a cheap tool. For $200, you can get pretty much anything that Leatherman sells, more or less. But again, it's not going to fit on your tool belt. Now, see these pliers? These are not spring-loaded, right? You see that? So isn't that, I mean, spring-loaded is better, right? It makes it easier to use, to grab on things, because if you kind of miss it, you might have to go two hands, which is fine depending on what you're working on. Sometimes if you're in a really tight spot, that can just make the whole thing a massive pain in the ass, right? So looking at these two side by side, very, very big difference between the two. If you are looking to use something as like a true tool, you're going to be pulling this out and you're going to be like fixing stuff with it, you want to go with a full size, right? But if you're just going to be occasionally using it, something like this is going to be total overkill. I pretty much only use this for the pliers because I have like I only use it at home. I don't really take it out with me. So I don't use it for too many other things. But this has a variety of tools on it. It has a large knife, quite a sharp knife, 2 different size flathead screwdrivers on it. And then this is, I believe this is a punch, they call this one. I'm not positive on that. A file, and these all do lock, right? So if you want to have the knife locks out rather. So if you have the knife out, right? So now that locks, that blade can't accidentally close itself in on you. And if I just remember how I close that again, it's been a while. How do I? Oh yeah, you have to have one of the other tools out. There you go. That's how you go. That's the one side of that. And then on the other side, you have another knife. So you have like 2 knives, a serrated knife on this one. You have another one of those can opener, bottle opener combos. You have a Phillips, and this one has you see how this Phillips, let's go ahead and compare these 2 Phillips so you can see exactly what I mean. That's the perfect demo there. So if you look at this Phillips here, see it's three-dimensional, right? So it's a Phillips kind of from all sides. Whereas this one, it looks like a Phillips from here, and then it looks like a flat, right? So, you know, this is going to give you more Phillips action with the big one than with the small one. But again, this is way bigger. And then you also have a saw blade on this one. So lots of different tools on the big one. But this is way, way bigger. This is never going to fit. If this fits on your keychain, you got to take some stuff off your keychain, you know what I mean? Because it's going to be way too big. This also has a little ruler built into it, which I always think is kind of fun, right? So there you go. That's the difference between a big one and a small one. For me, this stays at home. You know, if I was working out on a ranch or something like that, this would probably be on my belt loop, but I'm not. I'm working with computers, so I don't typically need large tools, but I do often need little tools, and especially a small pair of pliers is probably the #1 tool that I would use, because, you know, certain things you're able to manipulate with your hands, but when you need to like grab something and hold it tight, you're just not going to beat a set of pliers. So there you go. That is the NexTool Mini Sailor. If you're looking for a very small, very compact multi-tool that has its primary purpose as a set of pliers that are spring operated, I think this is going to be a great little tool for you. But it is more than just the pliers. You're getting the pliers, needle nose pliers. You also get the wire cutters. Those are going to come in handy. And when you fold it up, you're going to get all your different tools here. We have our can opener. We have our bottle opener combo. You know, open dinner, open yourself a drink after. We got our knife, which I'm going to sharpen here. I want to get this thing as sharp as I can get because I watched a video and someone sharpened it and they showed the difference before and after. These come with like a factory sharpen. It's fine. It's going to work for most things, but it's just not all it's capable of, right? Why not get it as sharp as you can get it? Now you got your set of scissors here, spring-loaded, very, very handy scissors. Your Leatherman Micra, if you want primarily the scissors, something that's like this, but instead of being pliers, it's scissors, then get the Leatherman Micra. But if you want the thing that's primarily pliers, this is the one to get. But nice little pair of scissors. They cut that paper just fine. Paper is actually sometimes the harder stuff to cut. If you don't have very good scissors, it can't cut paper very well. And then these other two tools here, well, three tools rather. Forgot about our old sim tool. So now on these side, we have our sim ejector tool, little tiny one, flathead screwdriver, as well as our modified Phillips, I'm going to call it, because it's kind of a flat Phillips sort of a thing. So this is just absolutely perfect. I couldn't be more pleased with this, not only because of the price that I paid, but just because of the perceived value of the product. This feels exactly like the other one that I had that was the regular price over double this. And so now this is coming in at way, way cheaper and pretty much the same thing. So, you know, sometimes those guys, they clone things pretty well, and I think they did a very good job on this one. So that is the NexTool Mini Sailor. If you're looking to grab it, link in the description. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Have yourselves a great day.